This model kit review is of the T-28 trainer, and this was used by the US Air Force to train pilots. This is an old model kit and it's by Monogram. You can just see from the style of the box. Yeah, really old. And this is a really old box here. Let's have a look inside. This one's from 1958. So here are our wings, and you can see there's a lot of surface detail here. It is unfortunately all raised, as was the style back then. Looks like maybe an air brake. Here are the top sides of the wings. It's actually reasonably quality in terms of the molding. Let's have a look here at the wheel well. There's really nothing there, and that's because they actually have an operating landing gear that you could glue in there and it'll come up and down. I don't like those. I'd rather have the detail. This one's already been started, and you can see the cockpit's already been put in place. We'll have to cut that out and do that again so we can paint it. But actually a fair level of detail on the inside of that cockpit. And the other side of the fuselage here, also all raised panel lines. Same thing with our tail and stabilizer and elevator. Here we have our nose with the engine. It's a radial engine that's already been molded in, unfortunately. Here's our canopy, and we have a pilot figure with looks like a fire extinguisher. Fair level of detail there. And we have our two pilots with very strange looking molding in terms of their legs and arm. Very strange. Here's our canopy. And we have a propeller with some mold lines. Looks like our pylons underneath. We have wheels with mold lines that need to be sanded down. Here's our landing gear, our wheel well covers, and the other one. We have landing gear. I don't like these landing gear. I usually cut these sides off and then glue them into position so they can be stronger. I don't like them when they move up and down. And this is probably the flap that'll move. Also we'll end up cutting that off. And then from nose gear here, also meant to come up and down. This is for the propeller. And some other little pieces here and there for nose wheel cover and so on. Here's the other wheel. Here are decals. They have yellowed. Still probably usable, but really old. This just gives you an idea as to how old this kit is. Yes, this is really old. Okay, here are the instructions. This paper is really fragile. I can feel it's just about to tear. Looks like I've torn something already. So this is the exploded view. Okay, so we start off with the cockpit and fuselage. And the stabilizers go on. And nose wheel. Then we have, looks like we need to put a support on. I don't like those. I'll cut it out and I'll put a weight in the nose. Fuselage goes together, and then the nose wheel, and we have our wings going together with the landing gear. And the other the side, and that's put onto the fuselage. The propellers put on to the engine's applied, and then the pilots and the rest of the cockpit. And looks like we're going to put our canopy together, and then decals. There are not a lot of decals, so it's fairly easy to see where they're supposed to go. Plastic cement. Use Monogram plastic cement, and only 10 cents. This is an old kit from Monogram, and it should require a fair amount of work to make it a decent kit.